What's up, family? Welcome to the One Experience. My name is Ty Headley, and today I come to you on behalf of our pastors, Pastor Torrey Roberts and Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. What we're going to be doing in this One Experience is a little bit different than what we've done before. We're actually going to be rewinding and going back in time to the year of revealing service, because 2020, it's honestly been a year that has shocked all of us. We've been taken by surprise, and we did not know that we were going to be standing in this moment. But the thing about it is, God saw all of it before we could have even perceived it. God sees the end from the beginning, meaning that if He saw it happening, that means He has a way through it. He is going to see us through this thing. It's encouraging because today what we're going to do is we're going to lean in. We're going to gather our friends. We're going to gather our family, and we're going to press into this word and see that God actually prepared us long before it would even take place. So today we want to focus on not just the problems that are around us right now, but actually focus on the promises that God spoke and God revealed, because this is the year of revealing. And man, it's so encouraging to know that we received this word at the beginning of the year. So family, lean in. It's time for the One Experience.
Family, that message was off the chain. If it hit you in your heart, right now type in the comments, I am being revealed. Woo!
Absolutely. It's really a time for us to see what is being revealed and how we are being revealed and how God is showing us what really matters. And as a matter of fact, we're revealing two of our good pals, our good buddies, and our pastors right now. We got Pastor Stefan to my right, Pastor Brandon to my left. We're here to talk with y'all.
We're ready. We are ready to break down the year of revealing. Pastor Brandon, can you help us with why this message is so timely for right now?
Yeah, it's awesome when you get a word of revelation, of prophecy. It should resonate with your spirit. It shouldn't be new to you. You should be like, yes, that's truth, almost because by knowing, you realize that it's revealing the truth that you already had inside of you. And I think that's what happened to us when we first saw this. And as we see it again over and over and over, it's revealing the truth that we felt like we already were holding. And so it's good to revisit those type of things so you can line it up and get back into alignment with what you know already inside of you that's being revealed from the word.
No, that's so true. I think for me, it revealed God's heart, because it's like He cares so much that He would prepare us for something before we even have to experience it. So it helped us kind of like ease into this, because it's like, oh wait, I kind of felt like I knew this was coming. We kind of had to like pivot and shift a little bit to get in motion of like our new normal, but I feel like I was a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so encouraging to know that God saw the end from the beginning. He knew all this was going to happen. Like to know that this message was released at the top of the year, it really showed us that if you look at the current climate that we're in and everything that's being exposed, everything that's being revealed, it's really shown us, like, for me, I think a big takeaway from this message was that God revealed to us what really mattered and what was really important. I think we were so busy that we couldn't see it. What do you think about, like, what are some of the most valuable things that you might have realized were valuable that you might have overlooked in the past?
I think first off, God revealed through this message that His ways are not our ways, right? When I first heard it on New Year's, I thought, okay, I'm about to be revealed.
Yes.
I'm about to level
Right.
up. I'm
We
about
all
to
did.
be,
Yeah.
We all
right?
thought, ta-da!
Yeah.
Ta-da!
So
We all
all of
thought.
it, look,
Not you.
halfway through January, it was like boom, like everything shifted from Kobe to the first cases of COVID. Like that stuff happened early in the year. So then it started to reveal to me that, wait, I'm about to be revealed in a different way. Like who I truly am, what I'm truly made of is about to come to the surface. And so one of the things that I've taken for granted in some respects is the time I spend in my home. Because usually that time is spent after a long day of work, after preaching, after serving in ministry, and I'm tired, right? So my sons and my wife see the tired version of me for the most part of the time. Now, being that I've had to spend a lot of my time at home, I've had the full day to be dad, to be husband, to be leader, to be example, to be the first example of what a man is going to look like to my sons. And so I'm really being more intentional now about who they see, right? How am I representing the love of God to them? How am I showing them that you should treat your wife, that your mom deserves to be treated? And so that's the biggest value, and the biggest eye opener to me is making sure that I'm maximizing the time that I have with those I love.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a way what you're saying is God kind of threw us a lob. Like He really in a way showed us, like, all the stuff that you were worried about, that stuff doesn't even matter. I'm gonna reveal to you the things that actually matter in life, like your family, like being that example and actually putting your thoughts toward, wow, I have all this time. What do I really set in my home? What is the standard I set for my family? And God is really, I think, like you said, he's exposed to us who we really are and who we're really supposed to be, rather than like this thing about, oh, we're gonna be revealed, I'm gonna be on top, this and that. It's not even about that, and it never really was. And that's what he's showing us now, is like, this is about who you are, who I made you to be, and the time that you have with the most valuable in your life, those that are closest to you and those that I've called to you, and leading them to me, because that's all that matters.
I think this is the biggest thing about being revealed though, right? It's that sometimes in order to get to the very essence of who you are, you have to strip down all the other elements. And so that everything melted down is only the purest thing. And I think it goes back to a conversation that me and Pastor Stefan were having early on. I had just gotten in a car accident at the end of the year, and God in his awesome wisdom protected me and gave me a new testimony to tell. But as part of that process, I got a check to buy a new car. And so Pastor Stefan and I had this conversation about what is valuable, and he was saying that he had cut down a lot of his expenses to put more effort into, like, building his family up. And so that made an impression on me. So when I went and bought a car, I just bought a smooth little Honda, something simple. Then the quarantine hit, and if I bought a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz, it would have sat in the garage for 90 days anyway before I would have been able to drive. So what was valuable to me shifted, and now what we're doing, me and my wife, is we're looking for homes. And the first thing they do is they look at your expenses, income to debt ratio, right? And all my credit cards are paid off. I have a low car payment, and so it helped what we're building towards and what's more important and what's more valuable than just flexing.
No, that's so true, because it's like 2020, everybody was like, this is gonna be my year. And I think 2020 is obviously our seed year. It's the year where we plant, we put in the ground, we dig, we focus on what's important, and God shows us like, no, you thought that this is what you wanted, but I'm showing you. And to think about how he reveals us through things, he is still revealing us, but it's the person that he designed us to be. And oftentimes, if you think about all the people in the Bible, like Noah and Moses, they were in the midst of chaos revealed. And so I think for me, that's been the biggest thing. It's like, okay, God is revealing who I truly am, but not the person I put on to be, or not the person I try to feel like I have to be to compete with the next person. He's like, no, the person that I created you to be before the beginning of time, let me put you in this situation so I can show you who you are.
Yeah, I think that everything around us is the backdrop for God revealing us. Like all the stuff that's happening in politics, all the stuff that's happening with the racial and social injustice systems, and all the different things that are happening in our world, even down to the quarantine and all this stuff. It's the backdrop, because ultimately this is a time and an opportunity, like PT was saying, how basically God is using us, and all along we were intended to be God's strategy in the world. Like we are his strategy, meaning that like he has to reveal us, he has to bring the pressure and bring the stage like this so that everybody looking around, they can see the craziness and all this stuff, but what remains the same? That which cannot be shaken, which is my son, my daughter, so that the sons and daughters of God can be revealed. Because it's by the way we live our life, it's by the way that we handle these situations, it's by the way that we live life and steward our families. It's all that stuff that leads us into really becoming God's strategy so that he can use us to make this world ripe and ready for what he has prepared. And that's what this is for.
That is so good. I remember having this moment like right when the pandemic hit where I was like, found myself a little bit like devastated. I'm like, okay, God, I know your heart. This isn't really like lining up. Like what is it? Like, what is it? And I'm like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, no, but what did I tell you to do?
That's good.
And it was almost like, whoa, you didn't really have to chin check me like that, but it's like we always look for the answers outside of ourselves. We like, okay, well, why aren't the pastors saying this? And why isn't the president doing this? He's like, but what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in your sphere? And just like you said, like, it's how we respond to it that shifts our environment.
Absolutely.
It's like people could complain, but if we're responding to this differently than them, then it's like, okay, why is he not tripping? Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but he's chill, he's cool, he's living in faith. It's like, now God is like, now you can do what you're called to do, which is draw people to me.
And I think the biggest part, real quick, is all of creation eagerly waits. So they're waiting on you to make a move, right? So I've seen certain things play out, especially with like the racial and social injustices. And you and I, we've had, public talks about it. But until the people of God speak up or step out or take an action, the things that he's already aligned to serve our vision cannot be activated. So we have to take that step. And to Brenda's point, instead of waiting for somebody else to do something, we have to evaluate, okay, what do I have the ability to impact right now? What move can I make right now, right? What call, what discussion, what initiative can I advance right now to advance the agenda of Christ? Because there are resources already lined up. They just cannot take action until we take action.
Yeah,
no, and that's so
right.
true. And so I want to stop and talk to you guys. And to Pastor Stefan's point, what are you going to do? How can you be an answer for this time right now? Like, what is God revealing to you about you that could maybe serve as an answer or response? Family, put it in the comments right now. Like, we're talking, but we want you guys to discuss as well. Talk to us in the comments, engage. Like, this is a moment where God is revealing us and he's opening up our eyes. And our conversation is just to push forward what God has already said about you and about all of us. So I just wanted to pause and get that moment. Y'all gotta drop it in the comments.
Absolutely.
I was going to say this. The revealing also is a part of what we're doing in the waiting time. And the cool thing about a prophecy like this is we don't know when every single piece is going to happen. So while our heart's posture is to wait on God, like Pastor Stefan said, what can we do to build right now in the waiting, right? And how can we not grow weary in well-doing and continue to, lay our next step forward and forward and forward until God reveals what the next step is, right?
Yeah.
And so that's part of this process. I'm waiting on God to do 3 or 4 different things in my life, but what can I do in the process? I know one thing that PT told us is that this would be a moment where we would begin to get influence that we never thought we would have.
Yeah.
And Pastor Stefan and everyone here has been posting and sharing and having conversations that are uncomfortable sometimes, and we've been seeing that it's revealed us in a new way that we didn't even know we didn't want to be revealed this way, but it was crucial to the movement.
Yeah. We talked about it in 5,000 Kings. I remember challenging the men. 5,000 Kings is our men's ministry. Men at TPHLA.org if you're not already a member. We talked about, and I challenged the men to take action right now, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you have the authority to do right now, and how are you using that authority? And as I'm helping to teach and challenge the men, God started highlighting things to me. He's like, because I'm in the corporate space, and I've always wanted to fly under the radar on my job. Let me go in, get my check, get up out of there and go home, right? Then God revealed, I didn't create you to fly under the radar.
Wow.
If you're not flying under the radar in ministry, if you're not flying under the radar being a husband, if you're not flying under the radar being a dad, then what makes you think that you can fly under the radar in this other environment that I've given you? And so, once I heard that, I took the first action in telling my manager, hey, I think as being the only black person in our team, the only black man in our organization, I think it would be valuable for us to have a dialogue for the team. And so I stepped up. I had that uncomfortable conversation. I borderline started preaching during the conference call.
Wow.
And then after that, a lot of people started reaching out. How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Had I not spoken up, the allies that I've now created would not have been in a position to reach out for help. So again, I challenge all of us to evaluate the circle, evaluate the sphere that we're already given, instead of praying for God to give us something else.
Yeah.
Be faithful over the little so he can bless us with more, right? So let's just do that.
No, that's so good. And family, we could honestly talk about the year of revealing all day. And so this has been an amazing conversation, but we want you guys to continue the conversation. So I have 3 questions that I want you to take out of here. One is, how does this message apply to your life currently right now? Secondly, who can you share it with? There are so many people that need to be blessed the way that you were blessed today, and the way that you encounter Jesus. You should want them to encounter Jesus the same way. And lastly, family, get connected, whether it's through small groups, whether it's following us on our social media platforms, tuning into our YouTube channel, subscribing. Like, you want to stay connected in this time. But I think before we go, Ty, would you like to close us out in prayer?
Sure, absolutely. Well, Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything that was imparted to us today. Let it be that very thing, God, that wakes us up to see that we are the salt of the earth, God. That we are the ones who bring out the flavors of God in the earth. That you've called us to play a part in the revealing. We have to play our part, and we have to step out on our faith. So God, give us the boldness I pray for confidence to rise in your sons and your daughters. God, I pray that there would be a fearlessness, that we can experience your perfect love that casts out all fear, so that we can walk into every sphere, even in our homes, that we can be bold and speak out and speak up for you, Jesus, that we want to be your lights in the world. You have called us lights that cannot be hidden, a city that is set on a hill. So let us truly be that. Let that be the revealing. It's not for our glory or for us to be magnified. It's for your name to be magnified. So give us everything that we need. And we believe, God, that you've already given it to us. So let us focus on you. Let us seek first the kingdom so that all things will be added, included this revealing. You've equipped us for this time, for this moment, for this pandemic, for all the social injustice. Everything that is in the darkness had to be revealed so that we could be better and closer to you. God, we accept your peace. We love you. We praise you. We thank you for this time and this moment. Let us continue this conversation and continue to connect and just grow closer in you. Let the body really become the body, and let us become unified. In Jesus' name, amen.